Good day, everyone. This is Romel, and welcome to our first episode of Missions Connect. This is a brand new podcast that we're gonna show our friends and audience all over the world. And I have here my two friends and missions partners here in Cambodia, and we're gonna talk about the vision and what the Lord is letting us do and collaborate here. And I hope and we pray that you also can join and connect with us. All right, guys, so good morning from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. All right, so I'm gonna introduce to you my two partners here, my friends, and they are veteran pastors and missionaries here in Cambodia. Okay, first, this is Pastor Greg Fernandez. Pastor, welcome to our Missions Connect. Alright. Okay, say something to them. Introduce yourself and what you are doing here in Cambodia.
Hello. Hi. So I'm Greg Fernandez Jr. from Baguio, Benguet. Been here since 2003.
2003.
25 years.
Wow.
It's our 25th year.
Alright, wow.
So I taught first in a Bible school, a Bible school. And then now we started a church sometime in 2013. But prior to that, we have a group of pastors. So we have a network. We call it Cambodia Christian Community.
Okay.
And that we represent more than 22 churches. Locally,
Wow.
local churches.
Alright. Okay, and the name of your church is Phnom Penh Church.
Yes,
Okay, PPC.
that's the church we started in 2003. 2013, sorry.
Okay.
And we call it PPC or Phnom Penh Church.
Alright, guys, this is Pastor Greg, and for your information, he can preach in Khmer language fluently. Alright, thank you, Pastor Greg, and of course, our special guest and partner, the visionary of this network that we're doing now, Pastor Val Celeste. Pastor Val, introduce yourself and say something.
Yeah, hello, good morning. So my name is Val. So I'm from the Philippines in Los Baños. God opened the door for Cambodia for us way back in 2006. So we have a ministry in UPLB in the University of the Philippines.
Okay.
And we were able to reach out to this group of Cambodians. They are studying there for masters and PhD. And one of them invited us here in Cambodia. So we came here with a vision of, doing missions.
Okay.
And somehow they opened their school. So we had a school in their university back in Prickly. So we had that school from 2009 until 2020. So during pandemic we closed it. But we also have a Filipino church. So like a home for Filipinos working here in Cambodia. So from that time until now, so praise God, the church is still going. And now God is leading us to expand the ministry. So not just to Filipinos, not just to the schools, but to partner with existing ministries and missionaries outside Phnom Penh.
Wow. Pastor, what's the name of your church again?
Destiny Cambodia.
Destiny Cambodia. And before I will go to the major questions, just a few questions. Why Cambodia, guys? What brought you here? Okay, just a summary of your experience before coming to Cambodia. What brought you here, pastors? Pastor Greg?
Actually, for us, we were chosen and sent by the church.
By your group there. in
Yeah,
the Philippines.
so actually, it wasn't a personal choice in the beginning.
Okay.
So we were kind of an experiment before.
Oh, really?
Whether we will last in the mission field or not, because we
Okay.
didn't kind of profess the calling to be a missionary
Okay.
in the beginning. But yeah, we said yes to our mission leaders.
Organization.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so we came in 2003, my wife and I.
And the rest is history.
25 years
And
after.
my sir is still here. Yeah. So,
An experiments that lasted at least 25
Yeah.
years from now. Wow, that's wonderful. Pastor Val, why Cambodia?
As I mentioned, so this group of Cambodians, God used them to open Cambodia for us.
Okay.
For me at that time, I have a big heart for missions from the beginning since I encountered the Lord and I met Him. However, my passion is to go to China. So we have a team praying for China. We actually went to China,
Mm-hmm.
but the door closed. And then while the door closed, we were just there doing the usual thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then reaching out to the people in the university. And so when we reach out to the Cambodians, I didn't even know. I'm ashamed. I didn't even know there's a country called Cambodia.
Oh,
Till we met these Cambodians and shared the gospel
Alright.
to them, and then they invited us. And so I was in university. I graduated already, but I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
But lo and behold, God orchestrated things, and from the first exposure trip here, we came here without any mission agency or any
Mhm.
network, only the Cambodians.
Okay.
We went to China where like it's a scary thing, you know, you don't know where to go, you don't speak to
Mhm.
people. We came here, and we never ride motorbike, we never walk because
Mhm.
the contacts we had, we didn't know they have like cars and all. They're quite rich
Okay.
here, so they pick us up in the airport. It's like a royal experience.
Okay.
So from that
real
time, God
welcome.
shifted our hearts. Okay, let's go to Cambodia.
Oh, okay. Wow. And how many years now? In
I
total, you're in
first came here 2006.
Oh.
And then we started sending teams from 2007, 2008. I moved here in 2012.
Wow, wow, all right. Okay, I think it's also appropriate I will tell my story.
Yeah, of course. Why are you here, Pastor Romel?
I'm here because I'm gonna host this. Anyway, guys, yeah, we all have different stories, but it's all one God who brought us here. And for me, it was 2012. Prior to 2012, 2005, I was able to join a short-term mission exposure from my team, my group in the Philippines. I'm from Iloilo. And even, I remember, we were still in the airplane about to land in Cambodia. I saw the land, and I have this excitement in my heart. I loved geography. Unlike Pastor Val, he didn't realize there's a nation called Cambodia. But I memorized all the countries in the world.
Wow.
Even in high school, even including the capital cities. But anyway, I told my pastor friend during that trip, my first trip here, 2005, and I said, Pastor, you know, if you have a strong mission base in Cambodia, Phnom Penh, you can reach many nations. Because Cambodia, if you look at the map, is connected to different countries all over Asia and even up to Europe. I even joked at him. I said, we can even walk from Phnom Penh to UK or to Europe. Okay? So that was my first experience. That's why mission exposure is very important for me. It was just a 10-day, I think, mission exposure or 2 weeks. And then I got involved in mission. When we went back to the Philippines, we prayed for Cambodia, and we find it. That was 2005. So we came 2012. So that's 7
So
years.
it's about the same.
Yeah,
same
almost
year,
the same year, right? So we came here 2012, me and my wife, and yeah, we stayed 7 years with our children. We planted a church. We get involved and connect with different ministries, especially Cambodian churches. And we went back home in 2019, not knowing that COVID will happen. And then, of course, we keep on praying for Cambodia, and we just got back. Okay,
Yeah,
God
welcome
is so good, and now these friends of mine here reconnected to me, and we're here, guys. We're so glad, and we believe God has a greater purpose. There's a verse in the Bible that says one can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10,000. The power of multiplication and joining forces. That's why we have here. Pastor Val, because guys, Pastor Val is the one who shared to us, me and Pastor Greg, about this thing that we are doing now. We just started this a few, I think, months or a few weeks ago, and I want him to share with you a little summary of what God has put in his heart about this. What we call this initially Indochina Missions Network. Okay, so Pastor Val, share the vision to our audience and what the Lord has put in your heart.
Yeah, this is very interesting time. 2 years ago, Cambodia gave birth to this vision of like reaching Cambodia 10% Christianity. And so while many groups are embracing that, so we also start praying, Lord, how can we take part or how can we contribute? And then through conversation with several missionaries, you guys included and some others, we came to a realization that we're getting old. I mean, I'm still young, but we're getting old. Starting a ministry is very challenging. Of course, we can do it. We can start again. We can go in the province. We can reach out to the Cambodians. But also with the realization that there are many churches in the Philippines, or even here in Cambodia, other parts of Indochina, that they want to send missionaries. The problem is we just don't know how. They don't know where, they don't have contacts, they don't have networks. So a friend of mine, Pastor Boyet, also known as Pastor Matthews to some, he's in the US now, in Hawaii. So we had a Kairos course, we one-on-one just had a lot of conversations, and we just thought of this idea of there are people who wants to go, they don't know how or when. But we already have networks, we have friends, in almost all provinces in Cambodia that can accommodate them. Not particularly any denomination or churches, but they want help, and some people outside also they need help. So we want to come in to facilitate all this. So from mobilization, from training and equipping, to mission school, of course all this in partnership and collaboration with churches in the Philippines, with missionary groups here in Cambodia, ministries that are already flourishing, and then those people from the Philippines, we connect them to those ministries. That way, we help the existing ministry, and the people who are the churches in the Philippines, the missionaries who wants to go, we can facilitate them going, and of course provide sort of training and equipping for them, because as experienced missionaries, for sure you have plenty of things to impart to the young missionaries. So that way, it's not just a vision of one church or one organization, but we go back to the Great Commission. We go back to the heart of the Father, the heart of God, to reach all nations. And Cambodia is growing. Cambodia is on a level where they can send their own people as missionaries.
Yeah, that's true.
So by being available beside them, help them and equip them as well, so they can also fulfill the Great Commission, respond to the Great Commission.
Yeah, that's good. That's wonderful to know, because if we do it separately, God has called us, and do it separately, do missions here, which we did before, of course. And there will be results, and we have seen it. But guys, the power of collaboration is really, really good. It's biblical, and the reason I'm here and I'm connected with Pastor Val now is because of this vision, guys. When I heard him shared it to me and to Pastor Greg, and I said, I'll go with that, because that's also what's in my heart. And I remember years back when I was assigned in a missions department in our group. I saw a lot of young professionals, young people, even adults who really want to go to missions. When you do the altar call, who wants to serve God in the other country? A lot of people wants to go. But then when you sit down and evaluate things, and so the logistics, okay, and then a lot of people are not actually pursuing the call. And hearing this, working with different groups, okay, Pastor Val is from a different group, Pastor Greg and me also, but we're here because we want to see more people come to know the Lord, and more churches be planted. And Pastor Val, this is not just Cambodia, right? Emphasize first the Indochina also.
Yeah, so it's the idea is we will start in Cambodia, of course, because we are here. But the vision goes towards Indochina. So we have ministry partners right now in Laos, in Vietnam, in Thailand. So even as far as Myanmar. So for those people who wants to go or who've been praying for this nation. So part of this is we have a school. We mobilize, then we put them in a mission school. Partly in the Philippines, probably 3 months training in the Philippines and 3 months training here. Just to embrace the mission culture, the adjustment, the language and all that. And church planting, training and equipping, because after all, that's what we're gonna do. So, and then we send them to their target nations or target locations with the ministry partners.
Can you explain further about the ministry partner, and then also the financial aspect of that?
Yeah, so here in Cambodia, we visited some ministry partners who are very much open to host potential missionaries. missionaries, not just like career missionaries, but missionaries who are like nurses, who are like doctors, who are teachers.
Yeah.
So the idea is for this to be sustainable. Like in Kampong Tom, we have a very good friend with the ministry of Dr. Castro of the Bilig missions group. So they can provide some allowance for nurses and doctors and teachers. So they have a school, they have a big property with, and they have over 500 students.
Wow.
So they needed help.
Yeah.
And their ministry is already flourishing. God is blessing them, and they are being used by God in that province. In some other places, there are already existing ministries. And the idea is like, we put up English centers to those who don't have English centers yet. And we partner with an existing school, like elementary or high school, and the students will be paying. And the main job of the teacher, of the missionary teacher, is to teach the student. And we are partnered with a local church nearby as well. So the reaching out will be in partnership with the local church. So it's a collaborative effort.
Right.
And because now everything should be legal, everything should be done properly. So when we go to the nations, we want to take care of the missionaries as well.
Yeah.
Because the hardest part for missionary is when you don't have support, you have children, you send them to school and you don't have money, it's tough. And instead of them enjoying serving the Lord in missions, the tendency is to go back to working. Whereas if we have a good model, or like we can at least provide their basic needs, they have a good place to stay, their children are well taken care of, they can focus in the ministry, they can give their full heart fully to the Lord.
That's good. So, Pastor Greg, when the first time you heard about this vision from Pastor Bob, you remember those coffee days? And so, anything that struck you while you're here and you're joining the team?
Yeah, I will go back to what you said, that when you preach about mission or calling the Philippines, you give an altar call, right? And a lot of people will respond. But the reality strikes when you don't have money to go. And so the reason, I kind of was interested is that, because I also have several friends in the Philippines, maybe at least 10 of them who said, I am called to be missionary.
Wow.
And then, lo and behold, they're still there pastoring. They're still in the ministry, but I'm the only one who went out because I was picked by our denomination. So I like this model because, like, I've been listening from Pastor Val about this. Like, if you have a church in the Philippines, we provide training, and if someone in the Philippines want to go as missionary, maybe the local church will provide at least $500. And when you come to Cambodia or Vietnam or Laos, when you go there, there's partner there that will help you provide income. But you have to do some, like, you're a teacher or a nurse, right? And then you can earn some to support you
and the ministry.
In the ministry. So even though you're coming here as a missionary without full funding, then you can earn. Is that right?
That's correct.
And that's why I was attracted.
That's right. So let's finalize this with the word collaboration. Okay, that's the last thing I think for this episode only that we're gonna talk. You've been talking about it already. I remember way back decades ago. I was just a young people in our church listening to these missionaries, asking for prayers and support and challenging us young people to come also and go. But we have this one particular missionary friend, actually in Cambodia, and we are very close. And we keep on. We were still in the Philippines. We keep on asking how was she doing, and then she kept on telling us, "Pray for me, pray for my finances, because my support is delayed. Not just 1 month, 6 months to a year delayed. How can a missionary survive?" So things like that. And when you are a young people hearing that, even if you have a calling, you will think
twice.
I think that's what happened to the 10 of your friends, because you're thinking, how can I survive? It's still reality, okay? Fundings and finances is very important, and this is a good idea and a vision from Pastor Val, that when he shared this to us, it really answers some long time questions in our hearts. How can we send more missionaries?
Yeah.
Because of course, in reality, guys, we know you back there in the Philippines, just like most of the churches, we're thinking, how can we fund sending missionaries? Because it's not easy. It's expensive.
Yes.
Okay. I have a friend in Japan. They also planted different churches there in Japan, and he told me, I will not forget it. He said, Romel, you have to think that Japan is also a mission field. But he said, you guys sometimes you look at poor countries that you call them mission field, but the rich countries you're not calling them mission field. If God called you to a rich country, you go there, but it's more expensive.
Sure.
But he said, here's the thing: when you establish the ministry and the church that you planted are also mission-minded, they can fund more missionaries. I like that idea. So guys, in speaking of collaboration, it's not just the sending of manpower,
Yes.
but just like Pastor Greg said, the funding. So Pastor Bal, elaborate a little further how, if there are churches in the Philippines, they want to send missionary in Cambodia or Indochina, okay. I remember you said it, you emphasized it many times, the importance of having a sending church.
Yeah. So, I mean, missions is God's work. It's the call of the whole body of Christ, of the whole church. So there are churches that are heavily involved in missions. There are a lot of churches who are not yet involved in missions. But we learned from history that even those churches, no churches exist without missions. Somebody went there and reached out to them. Somebody sent missionary or church planter there. So anyway, just going back to that, just mobilizing the church again to be involved in mission. And part of that is, when you send your people, when you really do something, you not just praying, but also sending. But of course, it's important that when you send a missionary, you need to be part of the journey of the missionary. And part of that is at least giving to that missionary. So while you're praying, you're also giving as well. Not just encouragement, not just sending prayers, but also maybe giving a little bit. That's why we come to this sort of idea that at least a local church should give at least $100. If you can give more, why not? We can still do the traditional raise funds. We do everything as much as possible.
Yeah, all possible means.
All possible means. And then because when your church is funding at least 100 for this missionary, you're gonna care for that person, you're gonna pray for that person, you're gonna remember that person and follow up that person. How are you? Are you okay? Are you still alive? Like that. And that means a lot to a missionary.
Yeah.
Like being in the mission field for more than 10 years, it means a lot when somebody sends you a message and you just felt their care. You felt their prayer by their messages or by their care. And it's even stronger when there's $1 attached to it, like that.
A message and a Gcash.
But part of that's the collaboration part in the sending churches. But on the receiving churches, there's also a collaboration part because they will receive and they have existing ministries. So what we do is as much as possible, there is a job, there's a source of income in the place where they will be received. So it's either teaching English. In the case of Kampong Tom, it's a hospital. On other places, I received this news from a friend. They're looking for IT.
Okay.
So so what possible career you have or expertise you have, you can use it to the mission field. It's not just preaching the gospel. The main thing is the preaching of the gospel, but the entry point, the legal thing for you to go there, you need to have a job or an expertise that you can offer to that particular nation. That way, you can receive some salary as well.
So this is not limited to pastors only,
Not
right?
limited to pastors only.
That's a good point, Pastor.
Luzon Congress's pastors and leaders, they just comprise of 1% of Christianity. The 99% are just that's a huge workforce. If we can mobilize them, the teachers, the engineers, the doctors, the ITs, whatever their profession is, and they are missionaries as
business
well.
people.
Business
Yeah,
people.
business people. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's wonderful. And I'm thinking to ask you more questions, but maybe in our other episodes. But one more thing, Pastor, because this thought actually, just remember this, is very prevailing in the Christian churches back in the Philippines, in our home country. Because I encounter a lot of Christians. Why go to missions, quote unquote, cross culture, if we still have a lot here in the Philippines? Okay. Any comment about that? Pastor Greg? Why go to other countries if we still have a lot to do here in our home country?
First of all, one thing is, I think, of course, it's calling to go to other country. But then we are called to go and make disciples, right? All nations. So not just your own country.
That's good. Yeah. Pastor Bar,
I'll give back that question. If Paul thinks like that, he just stayed in Jerusalem, did not go to his missionary journey. If the first missionary think like that, we're not here. We'll never hear the gospel. So if we will think like that, 2 billion people in the world who haven't heard the gospel, what will happen to them? What will we say to Paul or to those who went first? What will we say to Jesus? Because this is our calling. It's more than just, but it's a mandate. When the Lord says, go and make disciples, He was serious. He gave His life for this. It's not just an option. So it's a command.
And like in the book of Acts, right? They started like Jerusalem,
Judea,
Samaria, and to the
ends of the earth. And speaking of that, there are people who said, "Oh, we have to finish Jerusalem first before going to," okay. And other mission school of thought say, "No, it's simultaneous. While you go to Jerusalem, others will go to Jerusalem, others will go, right? It's simultaneous."
That's the beauty of the body of Christ. Correct. Because some will be called in Jerusalem, some will stay in Samaria or Judea.
That's true.
Some will stay and pastor and reach out the whole Philippines.
Yeah.
But some are needed to go to Cambodia or even to the Middle East, to India, these particular countries. So for us, we are focusing in Indochina. So this is the part that we are seeing. But we are all called to go. There is a nation that God has called us to serve, to minister to.
Yeah, they can even come to Cambodia for a few years, for like years. Exposure. And then if God will let them go to other country, even outside Indochina, at least they have this
That's
experience.
okay. Yeah.
So the Indochina Missions Network is like partly tent making, right? Some kind of, or
yeah, it's more like a network. Yeah, tent making.
I mean the missionaries.
Yeah, the missionaries.
Yeah, that's true. And one last thing, Pastor Val, you mentioned about the receiving church. Now, what if there are ministers in the Philippines or anywhere in the world who wants to start and extend their church here, plant a church in their name? Can they connect with us?
Yes.
Okay.
They can still do that.
Start a new church, right?
They can start a new church. Here in Cambodia, we registered a business. So the same model, we partner with the school and we partner with the government. And then you can come in, provide the English program as a means, as a tool for you to do church planting. So if you like that partnership, we can do that. Or if you want to go to the farthest place without the church, there are networks in Cambodia that we can connect you. There are committees per provinces, so you will still be covered, you will still be protected as well.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the sign we're in.
This is exciting, guys. So to wrap it up, keep tuning in our new podcast. And it's called Missions Connect. Okay, we do missions together because again, one can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10,000. I like the mathematics of God. It's multiplication and it's so much power in collaboration. So, Pastor Val, thank you for sharing the vision, and I hope we can have more people watching us that will connect with us. Guys, just contact us. We will leave our contact information. If you have questions, you can leave a comment Okay, if you have more detailed information that you want to know and understand, you can connect to Pastor Val. Okay, we will post the contact, Telegram, WhatsApp, everything. And Pastor Greg as well. Those who are from the Ilocanja region, okay? Cordillera. And the 10 friends of Pastor Greg, okay? If you're listening, it's time, I think.
It's time to come.
When the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. And also for all our friends back in the Visayas, Iloilo, Capiz area, Aklan, Antique. Guys, thank you so much. Please support our channel and support missions. Welcome to Missions Connect.
Yeah, just one last thing,
Yeah.
Pastor Romel. So if you're interested to come and explore this, so we have ministry partners in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Yes.
There are missions training centers in Antipolo, in Cebu, and in Samal Island.
Wow.
So we can connect you to these missions training centers. And then when you come here, so we have a center as well for missionary training.
Yeah.
And then we can deploy. So like, just reach out, and if you just want to come for an exposure, 10 days or 2 weeks,
2 weeks, yeah.
we can accommodate you. Just send us a message, and then we can arrange a schedule for you.
Wow.
To do an exposure trip.
It's exciting, guys. Pastor Greg, one last few words for our audience. Challenge them.
So again, this is not for pastors, but if you're a pastor and you want to come as missionary, then
You're welcome.
yeah, you're welcome. But it's not limited.
Yeah, they can bring a team, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, pastors can bring a team, short-term exposure team.
We'll have some requirements. We'll have some orientations, you know, because you don't just go and without
Don't book your ticket yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk first. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And in Cambodia, how do you say, God bless you? Preong
Protian.
Preong Protienpo. Thank you, guys. God bless.